See, yesterday we have studied about the quantum mechanical model. In this quantum mechanical model, we have studied about the features of quantum mechanical model. The various features of quantum mechanical model were related to the value of psi. So psi does not have actually any physical significance, but psi represents the orbital. All the information about an electron is obtained from the psi. So when we really work on psi, we come to know about the various quantum numbers. Psi square actually represents the probability of finding electron in a particular small region. So the value of psi square has been multiplied by the volume unit or volume element, and this is how when we multiply the value of psi square with the volume element, we find out the probability of finding electron in that particular region. By adding the values of psi square into the volume element into the various volumes, we get the total volume around the nucleus where the probability of finding electron to that particular psi. And this is how we come to know about an orbital. We can have the various values of psi for the various electrons. So for each electron, we have a different value of psi, and from on the basis of for that electron, we can come to know about the probability of finding that electron in a volume around the nucleus, and that volume around the nucleus, what we come to know, is considered as a orbital for we people. At the same time, we have studied about the quantum numbers. We have seen that we have various quantum numbers. The first quantum number, which is an important quantum number for us, is known as the principal quantum number, which is represented by n. Principal quantum number n is obtained by the principal quantum number n is obtained by the solution of the Schrodinger's equation, but it was first proposed by Bohr. The value of the value of n is always integer, and the different values of n gives us the shell number. So when n is equal to 1, we have k shell. When n is equal to 2, we have l shell. When n is equal to 3, we have m shell, and when n is equal to 4, we have n shell. Now, moving to the another quantum numbers, we can determine the another quantum numbers from the principal quantum number n. So the value of l and m directly or indirectly depend upon the value of principal quantum number n. The next quantum number n is known as the azimuthal quantum number, or it is also known as the angular momentum quantum number, or which is also known as the subsidiary quantum number. This quantum number n is obtained by the solution of the Schrodinger's equation, and value of l, we can calculate it as l has the value 0 to n minus 1. So if n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0 to n minus 1, that means l is equal to 0 to 0. Therefore, when n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0. If n is equal to 2, l would be having the values of 0 to 0 to n minus 1. That means 0 to 1, and for n is equal to 2, therefore when n is equal to 2, we have l shell, and for l shell we have l is equal to 0 and l is equal to 1. Same way we can calculate it for the others, like for if n is equal to 3, then we have m shell, and for m shell l ranges from 0 to n minus 1, that is 0 to 2, and therefore in m shell we have l is equal to 0, l is equal to 1, and l is equal to 2. Same way when we have n is equal to 4, we have n shell, and in the n shell we have the value of l 0 to n minus 1, that is 0 to 3, and therefore the value of that particular l is equal to 0, l is equal to 1, l is equal to 2, and l is equal to 3. Same way for the shell where n is equal to 5, we can have the values of l 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and for the value of n is equal to 6, we can have the various values of l is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The value of l determines the space, the shape and type of subshell. So please remember, my dear students, this is still a revision, but they are very important points, that when L is equal to 0, we have S subshell, which is a spherical in shape. When L is equal to 1, we have P subshell, which is dumbbell shape. When L is equal to 2, we have D subshell, which is double dumbbell shape. And when L is equal to 3, we have F subshell, which has complex shape. So we do not know about the exact shape of F orbitals. Computer could not draw the diagram for it clearly, and that is why we are not aware. So that was even the limitations while solving the Schrodinger's equation. The name S, P, D and F are given to the subshells from the group of spectral lines obtained during the spectra of an atom. So especially of the alkali metals, though the lines, the various lines obtained, like the S is given from the line sharp, P is given from the line principal, D is given from the line diffuse, and F is given from the lines fundamental. So this is how, my dear students, we have studied about the S, principal quantum number, as well as the azimuthal quantum number. Now today we want to study about the other quantum numbers. So we will start our studies. Let us go for the magnetic orbital quantum number ML. Magnetic orbital quantum number ML was also obtained by the solution of Schrodinger's equations. So this quantum number gives the information about the spatial orientation of orbitals respect to the standard set of coordinate axes. Please try to understand, my dear students, that this magnetic quantum number will tell us how electron is present into the x on the x-axis, or on the y-axis, or on the z-axis, or in the plus x direction or minus x direction, plus y direction and minus y direction, plus z direction and minus y minus z direction, and how its possibility to finding the electron in various region or in various volume around the nucleus can be understood. Let us try to understand it. The value of ml depends upon the value of L, and when L is equal to 0, ml ranges from 0 to 0. My dear students, when the value of L is equal to 0, ml ranges from 0 to 0, and it represents the S subcell. Now we will study the how we can find the value of L. So when ml is equal to 0, it will represent the 1s subcell. This is 1s. So when L is equal to 1, we will understand the P subshell. So ml ranges from -1 to +1. So you can say, my dear students, that the value of ml is from -L to +L. You can see on the right side. You can see on the right side I have written ml ranges from -L to +L. This is what it is, the conclusion that we have drawn from all this understanding. But please understand, my dear students, that when you have L is equal to 0, the value of ml is also 0, and it represents the 1s subcell. When you have the value of L is equal to 1, it represents the P subshell, and ml ranges from -1 to +1. That means ml can be -1, ml can be 0, and ml can be +1. This is how we can say when ml is equal to -1, it represents the px orbital. That means the orbital of, like, that means the p orbital in x direction. When ml is equal to 0, it represents the py orbital. When ml is equal to +1, it represents the pz orbital. We will study the shape of the px, py and pz orbital, and then you will come to know how these orbitals have been distributed. Same way, my dear students, when L is equal to 2, it represents the D subshell. So ml ranges from -2 to +2. So ml can have -2, ml can have -1, ml can have 0, ml can have +1, or ml can have +2. So when ml is equal to -2, it represents either the dxy orbital or dx square minus y square orbital. ml is equal to -1, it represents the yz orbital or dzx orbital. When ml is equal to 0, it definitely represents dz square orbital. When ml is equal to +1, it represents either dzx or dyz. When ml is equal to plus 2, it represents either dx square minus y square or dxy. Now, why do I write or here? So let us try to understand. Suppose you give the value ml is equal to minus 2 to dxy, then definitely you are going to give the value plus 2. ml is equal to plus 2 to dx square minus y square. So vice versa, if you give the ml is equal to minus 2 to dx square minus y square, then ml is equal to plus 2, you need to give it to dxy. That is what it is the meaning of your ml. So when I have written or, it represents ml is equal to, suppose I have written ml is equal to minus 1 for dyx and dzx, and ml is equal to plus 1 for dzx and dyz. That means ml is equal to plus or minus 1 represents the dzx and dyz. This is how we can understand, my dear students. Now we should move to the next one. When L is equal to 3, we have the F subshell. So ML ranges from minus 3 to plus 3. So ML can have value minus 3, ML can have value minus 2, ML can have value minus 1, ML can have value 0, ML can have value plus 1, ML can have value plus 2, and ML can have value plus 3. You can see that for ML we have 7 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is how, my dear students, we have the various values for ML. So in general, we can say that value of ML depends on L, and ML ranges from minus L to plus L. When L is equal to 1, ML is equal to minus 1 to plus 1. When N is equal to, that gives us the 3 values. When L is equal to 2, ML ranges from minus 2 to plus 2, which gives us 5 values. When L is equal to 3, ML ranges from minus 3 to plus 3, which gives us the 7 values. And when L is equal to 0, ML is equal to 0, which gives us the 1 value. When L is equal to 0, we have F subshells, which has ML has 1 value. When L is equal to 1, it represents the P subshell. That means ML has 3 value. When L is equal to 2, we have D subshell, where ML has 5 values. When L is equal to 3, F subshell, where ML has 7 values. So this is how we can understand that in S subshell, my dear students, we have only one orbital. In P subshell, we have 3 orbitals, Px, Py, and Pz. And D subshell, we have 5 orbitals, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. And in F subshell, we have 7 orbitals. We are not much aware about these orbitals and their shapes, but we are very much sure that in F subshell we have 7 orbitals. The number of values of ML represents the orbital present in it. So subshell name and the number of orbital. We have subshell S, it has 1 orbital. We have subshell P, which has 3 orbitals. Px, Py, Pz. We have subshell D, which has 5 orbitals. dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. And we have subshell F, where we have the 7 orbitals we can see. Now remember, my dear students, please remember this, that each orbital can have maximum 2 electrons. So in each orbital we can fill maximum 2 electrons, and that is how we understand about the orbitals. Now, my dear students, we are going to study about the arrangement of these orbitals. So I would like to look at this. You can see here, my dear students, that I have a table, and in this table I have written the name of subshell, then the number of subshell present, then the name of subshell, and then the number of electrons can be filled. So here we are going to study in this table that first we will study the name of subshell, then the number of subshell present, then the name of subshell again, and then the number of electrons that can be filled into it. So let us study that particular table. First we will study about the name of the shell. So the name of the shell is S. The number of the subshell present in S is 1. Name of the subshell, again it is S, because S does not have any other subshell. And then the number of electrons that can be filled in S subshell is total 2. Now we'll look at the name of the subshell is P. So it has the orbital 3. These 3 orbitals are Px, Py, and Pz. So total Px has 2, Py has 2, Pz has 2. So total number of electrons that can be maximum filled is 8. Remember, my dear students, here the word maximum has a significant meaning. So when you have the word maximum, it has this significant meaning, and it represents that this much of maximum electron can be filled. Minimum can be filled from 0 to 8. So any other number can be filled. Now we'll move to the d subshell. So d subshell has the suborbitals 5. They are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. Each orbital has 2 electrons each. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So total number of maximum electrons that can be filled are is equal to 10. Same way when we look at the F subshell, there are seven orbitals present into the F shell, and that is how the total number of electrons that can be maximum filled are 7 multiplied by 2. That means there are total 14 electrons we can fill into the F subshell. So this is how, my dear students, we study about the various subshells and their orbitals present in them. At the same time, we can even study about the total number of electrons that can be filled into a particular subshells. So now, my dear students, get ready for some of the questions I'm going to ask you. Please open up your mics and we will discuss. All of you, please open your mics and tell me total how many numbers of electrons that can be filled in S orbital. I'm expecting the answers. Please open your mics and answer me.
8, sir.
In S orbital, total number of electrons that can be filled maximum.
2.
In P orbital, the total number of electrons that can be filled maximum.
8.
In D orbital, the total number of electrons that can be filled maximum.
10.
And in F orbital, the total number of electrons that can be filled maximum.
14.
Very good. Why S has only 2 electrons? Because S has only one orbital. P has 3 suborbital or orbital px, py, pz. D has dx square minus y square, dz square, dxy, dyz, and dzx, and F has 7. Let's move forward. Now let's understand shell wise. Now we are going to study the same information which I gave you into the table. Now we are going to study it with the shell wise. So now if we have n is equal to 1, it represents the K shell. This K shell has L is equal to 0 to n minus 1, that is 0 to 0. So L also has the value 0. So we have n is equal to 1, L is equal to 0, and ultimately it represents the 1s shell. ML is also is equal to 0 because L is equal to 0, so ML is equal to 0, and that is why total number of electrons that can be filled in this subshell is equal to 2, and they are filled in 1s subshell or 1s orbital. Then we'll move to the next one. When n is equal to 2, we have the L shell. L ranges from 0 to n minus 1, that is 0 to 1, and therefore L is equal to 0 and L is equal to 1. So when n is equal to 2 and L is equal to 0, it represents the 2s orbital. ML will also be 0, and total number of electrons that can be filled in 2s is equal to 2. Now when you have n is equal to 2, L is equal to 1 is also possible, and that represents the 2p orbital. This 2 we write from the principal quantum number. Please remember, this 2 we write from the principal quantum number. So we in the same shell where we study when n is equal to 2, in L shell for all orbitals we will put 2 before them, and that is why we have written 2s as well as 2p. You can see here, my dear students, that this 2 comes from n is equal to 2, so we have written 2s as well as 2p. So when n is equal to 2, L is equal to 1, it represents the 2p, and ml ranges from -1 to +1, and that is why when ml is equal to -1, we have 2px. When ml is equal to 0, we have 2py, and when ml is equal to -1, it is 2pz, and therefore total number of 3 orbitals. So total maximum number of electrons that can be filled are is equal to 8, and total number of electrons in that can be filled in the shell will be 10, because you can see that this 8 and this 2 gives us the 10. Now we look at the n is equal to 3, which gives us the M shell. So L ranges from 0 to n minus 1. So L ranges from 0 to 3 minus 1, that is L ranges from 0 to 2. So first we have n is equal to 3, L is equal to 0 and ML is equal to 0, which gives us the 3s orbital. Again you can see that we have written 3 because n is equal to 3 and then L is equal to 0, so we have written s. Please remember that n is equal to 3 represents this 3, L is equal to 0 represents S, L is equal to 1 represents P, L is equal to 2 represents D, L is equal to 3 represents F. So again you can see here when n is equal to 3, L can have the value of 1. That means ML ranges from minus 1 to plus 1. So when ML is equal to minus 1, we have 3px, where the total number of electron maximum can be filled are 2. When ML is equal to 0, is there anyone to speak something? Okay. So when you have ML is equal to 0, you have 3py. So the maximum number of electrons filled are is equal to 2. When you have ML is equal to plus 1, you have 3pz. And the maximum number of electrons that can be filled is equal to 2. So again in 3p orbital, we have total 8 electrons that can be filled. Now we'll move to n is equal to 3. So when you have n is equal to 3, your L is equal to 2. Therefore, ML is equal to minus 2. That represents the 3D XY. Electrons filled are is equal to 2. When ML is equal to minus 1, we have 3D YZ. So electrons, total number of electrons are filled in this 3D YZ are 2. When ML is equal to 0, we have 3DZ square. So electrons, total number of electrons filled are 2. When ML is equal to plus 1, we have 3DZX. And electrons, total number of electrons filled are minus 2. And when ML is equal to plus 2, we have 3dx square minus y square. And total number of electrons filled are 2. So in this 3D orbital, we have total 10 electrons that can be filled maximum. So total number of electrons that can be filled in M shell, because in M shell we have 3s, we have 3p and we have 3d. In 3s total 2 maximum electrons can be filled. In 3p maximum 8 electrons can be filled, and in 3d maximum 10 electrons can be filled. So total in M shell we can fill 20 electrons all together, my dear students. Now we'll move to the n is equal to 4 and we are going into the n shell. So when we move into the n shell, L ranges from 0 to n minus 1, thus L ranges from 0 to 3. So n can have value 0, 1, 2 and 3. When you have n is equal to 4 and n is equal to 0, you have ML also is equal to 0. That represents the 4s orbital, and the total number of electrons that can be filled into the 4s orbital is equal to 2. When you have n is equal to 4, your L is equal to 1. Therefore, your ML ranges from minus 1 to plus 1. So when n is equal to 4 and n is equal to 1 and ML is equal to minus 1, we have 4px. When n is equal to 4, L is equal to 1, ML is equal to 0, we have 4py. When n is equal to 4, L is equal to 1, ML is equal to plus 1, we have 4pz. And in all these three, 4px, 4py and 4pz, total number of electrons that can be filled are 8. Same way when we have n is equal to 4, L is equal to 2, ML ranges from minus 2 to plus 2. So when n is equal to 4, L is equal to 2, ML is equal to minus 2, we have 4dxy. When n is equal to 4, L is equal to 2, ML is equal to minus 1, we have 4dyz. When n is equal to 4, L is equal to 2 and ML is equal to 0, we have 4dz square. When L is equal to 4 and L is equal to 2, ML is equal to plus 1, we have 4dzx. When L is equal to 4, L is equal to 2, ML is equal to plus 2, we have 4dx square minus y square. And thus in the 4d orbital, the total number of maximum electrons that can be filled are 10. When we have n is equal to 4, L is equal to 3, L is equal to 3 represents the f orbital. Therefore, ML ranges from minus 3 through plus 3 and it represents the 4f orbital. You can see that ML is equal to minus 3, ML is equal to minus 2, ML is equal to minus 1, ML is equal to 0, ML is equal to plus 1, ML is equal to plus 2, ML is equal to plus 3. So for each ML, we have one orbital, and each orbital there can be 2 electrons filled. There are total 7 orbitals, so total 14 electrons can be filled, and that is why in 4f orbital we can fill total 14 electrons. So now in this particular shell, n shell, the total number of electrons that can be filled are the total number of electrons filled in 4s plus 4p plus 4d and 4f. In 4s we have 2 number of electron maximum filled, In 4p, we can fill maximum 8 electrons. In 4d, we can fill maximum 10 electrons. And in 4f, we can fill maximum 14 electrons. Thus, total 34 electrons that can be filled into the N shell. Same way, we can write it, or same way we can calculate for N is equal to 5, that is known as the O shell. N is equal to 6, that is what it is known as the P shell. N is equal to 7, that is what it is known as the Q shell. My dear students, generally we, when we study or whatever the scientific researches have been done, up to this, up to M shell, we need to go and calculate the total number of electrons. N is equal to 5, N is equal to 6, and N is equal to 7 is actually not needed to understand whatever the researches have been done up till now. So now we should see that in K shell, 1s is only possible. So 1p, 1d, 1f are not possible, because when L is equal to 1, L is equal to 0 only, and L is equal to 0 only represents the s orbital. When L is equal to 1, it represents the p orbital. When L is equal to 2, it represents the d orbital. When L is equal to 3, it represents the f orbital. But L has only 0 or 1 value, and that is why we cannot have 1p, 1d and 1f. That I have tried to explain. For p, we need L is equal to 1. For d, we need L is equal to 2. For f, we need L is equal to 3, and that is why 1p, 1d and 1f are not possible, my dear students. Same way, if you look into the L shell, 2s and 2p are possible, but 2d and 2f are not possible, because for L shell, n is equal to 2, so L ranges from 0 to 1. So L can, when L is equal to 0, we have 2s orbital, and when L is equal to 1, we have 2p orbital. But for 2d orbital, we need L is equal to 2, and for 2f orbital, we need L is equal to 3. So my dear students, which is not possible, and that is why 3s, that is why we do not have 2d and 2f orbital. Same way, my dear students, when we look into the shell M, we have 3s, 3p and 3d, which are possible. But because n is equal to 3, so L ranges from 0 to 2. So when L is equal to 0, we have 3s. When L is equal to 1, we have 3p. When L is equal to 2, we have 3d. But 3f is not possible, because for 3f, L is equal to 3 is needed, which is not possible in this M shell, because in M shell, we have n is equal to 3. So L can range from 0 to 2 only. So L is equal to 3 is not possible. And this is how, my dear students, the orbital 1p, 1d, 1f, 2d, 2f and 3f are not possible at all. Such one question has been asked into your exercise, and in your exercise also there are few questions which have been asked regarding the impossible orbitals. Please look at this diagram. I have tried to show you the overall information whatever we have collected. You can see here we have the nucleus, and just next to the nucleus we have the K shell. In K shell we have only 1s orbital present. In n is equal to V2 we have L shell where 2s and 2p are present. When n is equal to 3 we have M shell where 3s, 3p and 3d are present. When n is equal to 4 we have 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f are present. When n is equal to 5 we have O shell where we have 5s. It should be 5p. I have made a mistake. Please correct in your notes. 5s, 5p, 5d and 5f are possible. And in n is equal to 6, we have 6s, 6p and 6d. You know, 6s and the other orbitals are not up to our reach. We are not going to discuss the other orbitals which with the higher thing. So this is how we can understand a very rough picture, not exact picture, but very rough picture of the atom. And I have tried to show you the energy of these orbitals also. So 1s is with the lowest or lowest energy. You can see here that the energy of 3d is between 4s and 4p. Please remember this, that the energy of 3d is between 4s and 4p. Same way the energy of 4d is between 5p and 5s and 5p. Same way the energy of 5d is between 6s and 6p. The energy of 4f is between 6s, 5d. So 6s, the energy, if you look at 6s, then 4f, then 5d, and then 6p. So please remember if possible. Now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me, my dear students. This is what we stop the discussion today because the time has almost got over. Is there anything which you don't understand? You can ask me. Hello, dear students. I'm expecting the answers from you.
Yes.
Is there anything which you want to ask? You can ask me if you want to ask something, or at least you can say, sir, we understood.
We understood.
We understood.
We understood.
Understood, sir.
Okay, then tomorrow we will study about the spin quantum number ms that you can see here. I have already given these notes to you before 3 days, so you might have written them. Acha, and and you can even understand, my dear students, that